You live near a school now. And when the alarm goes off in the morning, it's the near rendition of a SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. There's children screaming on their way to school in their pepped up thrill, alive and fueled, supposedly ready to start the day. Caffeine isn't affecting you as well as it used to. It used to jerk you awake by a half hour, and now, instead of being thrust through nerve endings, it shrugs. Maybe you should give it up for a month and start again. Maybe some warped, parallel reality version of you would be here instead. Maybe you'd be bored by now, and you wouldn't be getting ready to shave this ridiculous quantity of hair off your head. It's a shame. But you can't live outside your body. Unplug your brain and decant it into the internet like some kind of soup. Soup that you made and brought to work to share between colleagues. Shit, there's soup in the fridge. You love the internet. There's an answer there ready to be deciphered about 95% of the time. And 80% of the time it's replicated far and wide, garbled again and again. Apparently, the oak marbles are not fruit, but originally leaves. On a time lapse, you would see that wasps, often other insects, but often wasps, lay their eggs in tiny clusters of the oak tree's leaves when they're in bud. If the larvae remains, the leaves grow around it, swelling and hardening and browning into a solid little shell to protect the larvae as its own cells grow into exoskeleton. When it reaches maturity, the insect burrows its way out, probably eats its way out, and flies away out of the little hole. It's such a bizarre symbiosis on the part of the tree, and to support the insects like that. No one knows how long it took to occur. Maybe the larvae excrete some kind of chemical that stimulates the leaves to solidify into this almost wood but lighter than wood substance. If you scratch at it, tiny flakes of sawdust drift onto the kitchen table. They're so light, lighter than conkers or acorns. These tiny cradles keeping the larvae alive at no cost to the tree. It merely grows more leaves. You have not seen the sea in years. When you visited the island, the rivers were still, spewing their guts onto the sand. Rivulets edging their way through the stones, the pebbles, the bones of small animals. When they throw the voles outside, the ones the cat brings in, the jackdaws are waiting, like clockwork. Set them on a time lapse and watch them flock back and forth. Nestled in your molecular structure, there is blue-black hair thick as whale vertebrae, knots like seaweeds, like industrial fishing nets, umbilical cords stretched out, on metal trays measured and compared, colours bruise in the fluorescence horizontal above. Cancer or placenta, the two grow at the same invasive rate, you know. As a child, you found quartz, hidden and jagged in the boulders to the north. Like molars to the touch, the stone had whistled them coarse, dried out after the remains of some sea creature's claws. The quartz looked like salt glistening in wounds to rub them raw. The land's muscles striated, keening themselves hoarse, at the beck and call of harvest moons scraping back and forth. In their sea-suffering logic that calcifies their laws, crystalline tonsils swelling the caverns of their maws, a nocturnal gentle grinding in each equinox of force, millennia of tide stretching out until they're taut, a waxing, waning paroxysm from the waters ebbing forth, a waxing, waning paroxysm from the waters blackened tore, a waxing, waning paroxysm from the waters lick and pour, a waxing, waning paroxysm from the waters tiding forth, a waxing, waning paroxysm from the waters rumbling roar, a waxing, waning paroxysm from the waters. You can see that self, distant, a tiny burning berry, lava-like bobbing within the dark water, stooping now to grasp in the bubble of the river mouth, your fingers cold combing through the wetness of the gravel and the silt, gritting salt under your nails and in the wrinkles of your knuckles. You find bark from bast, unwoven by the workings of the tide, pulling and pushing the soil out to sea. And you find floating in the moor, buoyed of nothing but air pushed taut, a wooden stone, as though rolled between thumb and forefinger, in a perfectly spherical form.